Let's talk about software now. We're going to learn what an operating system is and how there are different options for different kinds of machines. Then we'll take a look at some of the different things we can do with computer programs. The operating system is what holds all of your computer processes, programs, and files. It's actually a collection of systems. There's one for being a user on that machine. There's one for that machine to be connected to the internet versus being connected to a printer. And there's many more systems. So how do we get an operating system? Well, there are different types of installations. Some machines have an embedded system, and that means that the operating system was built in. People do that when the idea of changing the operating system is just not part of that machine's purpose. So that would be something like a robot or a cell phone. Now, if you're using a whole computer, then you probably have an operating system that was installed by the manufacturer, but you can choose a different one or maybe an additional one. And when you can choose like that, we call it a mounted system. So there's much more than three operating systems out in the world, but by far the most popular ones are Windows, Mac, and the different varieties of Linux. So Windows is kind of unique, but Mac and Linux are in the same family. We're going to talk more about what that means in another video. So in our operating system, we want to be able to use programs. And there are many different kinds of programs out there, but by far the most common one is some sort of editor. And editors can be very simple or very intricate. Often you have more than one for each purpose because sometimes you just want to look at something, but other times you want to do work. And when we're done making these files, we want to be able to find them again later. So we have browsers for that, and we can find files that belong to us and files that belong to other people. There's a kind of program called a player, and so that's literally for playing music or video. And there's kinds of programs for communication. So nowadays, people are all about that video and voice over the internet. Well, when I was a youngin', we had instant messengers, and we thought we were cool. So hopefully you've experienced computer games before. And another kind of program that we can find on a computer is called a language or a language interpreter. And a language is a way for you to give specific commands to the computer. So for example, maybe you want to specify the difference between the main title and a subtitle in a document. Or maybe you have a list of numbers and you want to know what the average is. We'll be going over this topic in many future videos. So in this lesson, we talked about digital components. We talked about the different types of operating systems and how sometimes you can choose which one to use. And then we saw how there are different types of programs for doing work or having fun.